I take pleasure, you can still stand up here, Wes, in inviting Professor Helms to deliver the Convocation address.
If it's okay with you, I'm going to just take it off. Thank you, Dean Sear, esteemed colleagues, families in attendance, and most importantly, graduating class of 2015. Let it out. Come on, man. You guys are doing it. So 4 more years ago, many of you arrived because that's what you and your parents had always intended for you to do. Get a university degree, right? Navigating university involved uncertainty, weighing costs and benefits of different decisions, and making choices. You had to take risks such as pursuing one program over another, balancing the time and costs of education, and estimating whether you could meet program requirements. Some of your risk calculations worked and perhaps some others didn't. But you adjusted, you learned, and in a few minutes, you guys are going to be university graduates. As important as it is to congratulate you, it is equally as important to congratulate the parents and families. Your parents waited 9 months for you. They forced food down your throats. They changed thousands, I'm not exaggerating, thousands of your horrifying diapers, okay? They prepped you every day for pre, elementary, and high school, stayed up nights planning your futures. Parents, you did it. They're here. They're wearing those ridiculous gowns that you always wish they would. And quite frankly, today they can't question your wardrobe choices. In preparing to speak today, I took a brief survey and found that a major reason for many of you walking this procession is to make your parents happy. Just so you know, the pressure to please your parents does not stop here. My mother is in the front row. I was going to walk up here without my cap on, but she said, "Honey, it would mean a lot to me if you would wear the Beefeater hat." This is the Beefeater hat of my alma mater. Sorry guys, it looks ridiculous and it cramps my metrosexual style, let's be honest. So I said, "Mom, I would prefer not to wear the Beefeater hat." And she stated, "But it's a tradition to wear the Beefeater hat." I responded, "Mom, stop it, I'm 40 years old." She then dropped the "but you look so handsome in it" lie on me, and I was like, "Mom, you do not even know the pressure I'm under right now." And she's like, "You know, you'll probably never speak at Convocation again." And I was like, "Fine." I cursed several times, and here I am in my Beefeater hat. Don't feel bad for me. I'm getting my revenge as I stand here, because I'm not wearing anything under this robe except for socks, a shirt, okay, pants, and underwear, okay. But that's right, Mom, I'm not wearing an undershirt. And that is highly inappropriate in my family. I now realize I should be wearing an undershirt because I am sweating profusely. So I remember 17 years ago wearing a similar gown, being invigorated by my graduation, and if I'm honest, wanting independence from my parents and their plans for me. I wanted to do my own thing. After graduation, I drove from Boston to Los Angeles and joined an industry. I then moved to San Francisco to work for the largest organization in that industry. Subsequently, I moved back to Boston to work for a startup, met my wife, who was fine, and I followed her to Toronto and changed to the consulting sector. When we started our family, I decided to get a PhD. So just like your time at Brock, careers involved assessing and pursuing opportunities. I took some calculated risks like joining a startup company. I also learned that you can't calculate all risks, like 9/11, that ultimately doomed my startup experience. 17 years ago, my parents sat in the audience and were horrified by my graduating university. I did not have the clear career plan that they desired. They wanted me to take the safe route of going directly to law school and entering what they considered to be a very stable profession. In the years after graduation, there were moments where things would be tense between us as I jumped from job to job and city to city. Life is funny. Eventually what goes around comes around, and I became a father to 2 boys. Now, like my parents, I'll do anything to have my kids achieve their dreams. However, as they've grown, I've experienced a trade-off. In order for them to achieve their goals, they have to risk a great deal. For example, my son, Colin, wants to ride a bike. In order to learn how to ride a bike, he first rode with the training wheels and fell off repeatedly, threatening to never try again. Now the training wheels are off. He's falling off repeatedly and threatening to never try again. As a parent, you watch your offspring struggle through the process of learning to ride a bike. When they fall, you begin not to trust them. You question your parenting, their goals, and your dreams for them. Is this worth the scraped knees and potential concussions? At my worst, I've instilled fear in my son, Colin. Colin, when you watch his speech in 2025 on YouTube, I hope you don't remember me yelling this weekend. If you're not careful, you're going to crack your head open. If you do, that was my bad. That was bad parenting. Sorry. The falls taken while learning to ride a bike are a lot like the falls, like those failures we feel when pursuing our careers. Failure can feel so painful that it weakens our sense of self, we become risk avoidant, and we stop pursuing our ambitions. Some of you may still be hurting from your perceived failures during your time here. Please let me be clear. As a professor, the last thing I want is for you to question your self-worth and confidence because of your educational experience. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs don't have PhDs and they're not teaching in universities. Although we don't say it enough, please know this. We believe in you. We are grateful for the opportunity for having taught you. Thank you. So to conclude, I'd like to share just 3 brief thoughts on managing your early careers. First, parents, your influence does not disappear today. It's time to contain your fears, get out of your graduates' way, and support their ambitions. As parents, we do not calculate the risks of our children well, and our perceptions of uncertainty are 20 years in the past. Their Goodman educations have given them the tools to manage the uncertainties of the working world. Second, graduates, you will benefit greatly by engaging your parents in your assessment of risk. I am not saying do what they tell you. What I am saying is that there are benefits to learning how they came to make the choices that they have, both good and bad. These 2 thoughts are contradictory, and I realize that they may lead to some tension. So my final thought is that when these tensions arise, I would encourage you to reflect upon the people that are responsible for you and your parents being here today. I am here today because my maternal grandfather immigrated at 14 to Boston because all he wanted was a high school education. I am here today because my great-grandmother immigrated to Boston, chose to be a single mom in the 1920s over staying in a harsh relationship to create a better life for her children. Whether a grandparent, a great-grandparent, or before, both you and your parents came from people that took on great risk in order to bring you here, to this day, to this moment. Your ancestors made decisions to face uncertainty, to travel to new places, to educate themselves, find jobs and careers to create opportunity. They had fewer resources and options than you or your parents. They felt what I hope the graduates are feeling right now: the desire for independence, the excitement associated with a new path, and the hope to achieve something greater for yourself. Mom, thank you for letting me do my own thing, always being there and sharing our family history with me. I am very proud to be your son, and you are right. I do look really handsome in my Beefeater hat. Graduates, Goodman needs you to risk. Your school's success is tied to you and your successes. The world needs you to risk. I'm sorry, humanity needs business professionals willing to acknowledge the uncertainties ahead of us, that actively use their analytical skills to calculate how to address them and have the guts to take those risks necessary to solve them. Do it. We didn't. The uncertainties you perceive starting your career are not new. The fact that calculating and navigating risk is a part of your family tradition and simply a part of being human should calm you and strengthen your resolve. You are the legacies of successful risk takers. You have fantastic potential. Go out there and show us, your parents, most importantly, yourselves, what you can do. Sir Isaac Brock said, Surgite.